Hi, this is Lisa from the Jolly Pad. Welcome again to my YouTube channel. Now I'm just having a look at some gel printing at the moment, and I have done a few today, some with metallics. I've also done this one. This is the one that I'm going to show you to do today. These are with a mixture of acrylic and this was with the alcohol markers underneath, lifted with acrylic, several layers. This is with the alcohol markers as well, and it's got some gold on it, as you can see. Just wanted to see how the gold and the alcohol would move on my plate. This one and this one I've done a video on, so you can catch those videos. This one I did where I tried with the silver. So the silver wants to pool rather than spread, but I quite like that. I'm going to make these into cornflowers and just put the stems on coming off of this border. So that's what I plan to do with that one. This one was just the alcohol inks lifted with alcohol blending solution. And this one as well, I started with the gold. It's just acrylic paint with another acrylic paint, and that I did with the acrylic paint through a stencil, the gold one, and then lifting it with some darker green acrylic paint. So what I'm going to show you is doing this with alcohol inks. So let me just move this out of the way. So I've got this stencil, so I'm just going to pop it there like that, just on a plain gel plate. I'm working on one that I think is 3 by 5 inch because I'd really like to work on a smaller one while I'm still learning. So let's have a look at this. So I am going to use Stream. So this is from Ranger, from Tim Holtz, and I'm just going to splash some of it on. I'm going to try and get into the middle so that it doesn't seep underneath the stencil. It doesn't matter too much if it does, because it's just a background for something later on. I'm just going to see if I can do it so it's a bit clearer. Okay, and I'm going to brayer that on all over. I might have to add some more. I did try this with a paintbrush as well, and it works really well with a paintbrush, but I quite like it looking a bit darker, so let's just splash it all over. There we go. It's been over with a brayer a couple of times, so hopefully that will be okay. Now I clean this up with rubbing alcohol, and you can do it with a blending solution as well. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that on there like so, and I'm brayering off. Now on my other video I showed you where I've got a book and I just brayer off onto that, and that's one that I've got. So that's got some multi-layers, and then stamping on it using that as a background. Okay, let's move that out of the way. Just clear that up a bit. There we go. Okay, there we are. So that is drying. Now it has pulled a bit underneath, but I'm not too worried about that. There, you can see that. Alcohol ink tends to dry quite quickly, but sometimes I use a blower like this, just the last drying process. This blower is also from Ranger, and it just dries it off quite nicely. Now the thing that you've got to remember with alcohol ink is if your brayer is quite dry when it goes on, mixing the paint on the actual gel plate to spread it, then it will start lifting or sticking to the alcohol ink and lifting it off. Also remember that when you are working with alcohol ink, you work in a well ventilated space without any children or animals, and that you wear a mask and gloves, neither of which I'm doing. I have got a well ventilated space, doors open and everything, but I haven't got gloves on. So the colours that I'm using are these. So they come in a set. So this is silver, and I did the other one in a copper. And they also come in with, let's take that off, this set here. And they have bronze, anthracite, and a gold. So I'm going to be using silver to take this off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it on my mat because I don't want to put it on my gel plate at the moment. Now what I will do is use a different brayer because that alcohol ink might come off my brayer. Okay, so I'm just popping it on, taking it off there and just popping it on. Working with a smaller gel plate as well, I find that I'm using less paint, which is really nice. There we go, just brayer that off. And I can put this, I can lift it up, I've got it on an acrylic block. And I can turn it over and you can see that beautiful pattern. I might actually put a little bit more silver on, make it a little bit thicker. So let's put some more on there. Lift it up like so. I want it to be a little bit shinier than the gold was. So let's see. There wasn't too much more on. I just wanted to make sure that it showed up. And I can press down on here, turn it over and then press it down. So I go around the edges first just to make sure everything's from the edges. I haven't cleaned my plate, so whatever lifts will lift. And I'm just slipping my hand underneath to hold the plate and giving it a rub all over like so. There we go. Not too hard, not too soft. There we go, just right. To leave it a couple of minutes just while I clean this up. There we go. Now the inks will stain if you leave it there. I use rubbing alcohol to clear it off with. Okay, so I tend to use silvers more with blues, and I tend to use gold with greens because of the warmth of the colours. So that's what I tend to do. Let's have a look. Okay, let me sit down. And peeling it off. And there you go. So you've got the stencil, you've also got the silver. You can see when it hits the light. And you can see that beautiful blue with the blue and silver. And I will find the green. Where did I have the green? Let's have a quick look. And the green. There we go. There's the green and the gold. That's quite shiny, quite effective. Now it depends what you want to put on the top. You could just leave it like this. You could just put a sentiment on it. Or you could lift with rice paper. So I tried lifting some with rice paper when I was doing layers, which I can use as a collage. And this is the rough side of the rice paper. So there you go. There are two lovely prints using exactly the same technique, which is with the alcohol ink, stencil and metallic paint. Right, I hope you like that. Check out my other videos, which are also using alcohol inks. Well, it's using alcohol pro markers actually on the gel plate lifted but with acrylic paint, so check that out. And I shall speak to you soon. Okay, bye for now.